that have existing businesses but need assistance in terms of equipment and tools. And this is everywhere. And you will recall that before 2007, it was small and medium enterprises. But the Congress at the time, and we authored the MSME law to include the micro enterprises. I'm sure in Bukidnon, all of those are benefiting. And ang daming pangangailangan. An example, I was so happy during the pandemic that there was a group of women in Quezon City that had been a recipient of the DTI Shared Services Facilities na sewing machines. I saw it on social media while I was on Zoom in lockdown, and a small NGO by a lady named Micah Teves said, Senator, ito po yung batas nyo, ito po yung hiningi ng kababaihan, nagbago na po ang kinatahi nila, ngayon PPE. So, nung nabuhay sila, yung maliit na kababaihan na grupong yun sa Quezon City noong panahon ng pandemya na nag-innovate, gumawa ng PPE. Isa lang yan sa SSF. Sa Antique, ito po ang ginawa kong tulay para pag-ahon mula sa pandemya. Mula sa brick making facility, hanggang sa pottery making, hanggang sa mga chips, iba-iba. Ngayon, sasabihin ko lang totoo sa SSF. Kailangan ng DTI, inaaral pati ang equipment. Kasi minsan, ayaw ng komunidad, baka hindi sapat ang konsultasyon, ay nabibigay yung equipment, tenga lang, or sayang. Pati yung quality ng pag-procure ng equipment, baka hindi magandang klase. So, hindi to magic pill. Itong RCEP. Hindi rin magic pill yung mga programa ng gobyerno. Bagamat magandang tingnan sa computer, magandang sabihin ng senador sa pag-implement sa baba. Dahil kami mga naging congressman, alam namin yung lokal, maraming pagkakamali at maraming dapat ituwid. Hindi naman DTI, pati ang BA, lalo na. At may iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno, gaya ng DOST, Science and Technology, meron silang community empowerment through science and technology. So we're not limiting it to these two agencies of government. All agencies, especially those who are part of the Innovation Council. Remember, there's a 2019 law, patapos na yung termino nun, tapos nagkaroon ng pandemic, yung Innovation Act. Yung pag-implement ng Innovation Act na kinonvene ni President Marcos nung isang araw, first time na kinonvene ng isang Pangulo ang Innovation Council mula ng 2019 nung naipasa ng Senado yung ating batas na yon. And for your information, that law is an output of the 2015 APEC meeting in the Philippines. I had the staff, she's now a commissioner of a government agency. I said, can you get the output of all of these APEC countries so that we go ahead with innovation? It was an originally drafted bill by the Senate. It became a law 2018. It was Senator Sherwin who sponsored it. The majority leader was SP. Now fast forward, the Innovation Act could be at the center of RCEP implementation. So we mainstream innovation and research and development in every agency of government.
Ma'am, last question. How soon and how often will you convene the oversight?
Baka magsawa kayo sa mga hearing. Makulit ko. How soon? It's been created. I can call for a hearing perhaps week after next. We will talk about it with the majority. You know, tinalaga lang ako ng chair, but I have members also, and I have to consult the Senate leadership. But I'm sure that you would want it to be as often as possible. And we will not make it Manila-centric, no. We discussed it. We will do regional consultations with the stakeholders who are still anxious. Angry, anxious, opposing, we will listen to all of you. You teach us because you know it best. We will listen to you. Kaya natutuwa ako na meron tayong our ears will be on the ground. So in the next few, not months, years, we will listen, and that will be inputted in the budgetary process.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now call on Mr. Willard Basalonia of the PNP.
I have to Sec Pascual. Sec, you recently met with the EU Parliament Subcommittee on Human Rights, and I think you brought up EU, FTA, and GSP Plus renewal. Now my question is, what are your objectives in pushing the Philippines EU FTA talks?
Right now, our preferential tariff comes from the GSP Plus, and that coverage will expire by the end of this year. So we've been working. I've gone to Brussels to campaign for the renewal of the coverage of the Philippines under GSP Plus. Now, GSP Plus is available only for low-income countries. But as you very well know, the Philippines is, with the rate at which we're growing now, we hope and we expect to become an upper middle-income country soon. And if we are able to achieve that, we will no longer be eligible for GSP Plus coverage. Of course, there is a transition of 3 years. During that time, we hope to be able to negotiate a free trade agreement between the Philippines and EU, so that we can have a more stable and more permanent platform to govern our trade and investment relations with the EU.
And then now that you have already RCEP ratified, and then what would you think be in store for the Philippines if altogether you would also be able to achieve these objectives with the PHE FTA talks? Then would also be renew the GSP Plus. Maybe you can just give us a picture.
Are you asking whether RCEP will affect our
Yes.
GSP Plus coverage? No.
Or is there any connection?
They're separate, but with RCEP, we might be able to accelerate our becoming an upper middle income country. So, because industry will grow, there will be more investments here. And the moment that happens, we really need to go for a free trade agreement with the EU. Otherwise, some of those companies or industries that thrive on the basis of the preferential tariff enjoyed under GSP Plus will be disadvantaged.
Next, Ms. Sherry Ann Torres of ABS-CBN, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Morning, Sharon.
To Secretary Pascual and also to our senators. Sir, may we ask, during the first year of the observance or implementation of RCEP with us, the Philippines included in the program, what specific industries are we expecting to initially attract, and how many at least?
Yung industries that will export now, like I explained before, yung specific industries, what comes to mind, yung new lower tariff will be made available to certain products, agricultural products of ours. I think yung canned, is it? Tuna, yeah. Canned tuna will gain reduction in tariff in Japan and other member countries. So that industry will benefit right away from RCEP. Just an example. We have a list which we can provide you. ASEC, Allan, Gepty can do that. But in my notes here, I can see that RCEP represents a number of sectors. In the Philippines, 50% of our manufacturing output could benefit, from RCEP. Our electronic products, 70% of electronic products are represented by RCEP region. There are very specific. We've listed this down, and we can provide a list of these products that will immediately benefit from the tariff reduction brought about by RCEP. Allan, can you give rattle off some of the other specific products?
Thank you, sir, for giving the floor. So, for this RCEP agreement, in addition dun sa mga existing FTAs natin, we were able to secure enhanced market access for certain products of interest of the country. So, for example, in the case of China, we were able to secure enhanced market access for preserved pineapples, pineapple juice, coconut juice, diesel oil, tinted paper, tissue filing set, pictographic paper. Marami ito. We can of course give you the list. So Japan, maybe products of interest for the Philippines would be fish fillet, no? Kasama rito yung tilapia, cooked pineapple, coffee, canned salmon, oyster, mussels, chocolate, no? Even gingerbread, leather gloves. We're very strong on leather products here, and also footwear. Sa South Korea, dried salted tilapia, papaya, of course, durian, canned tuna, preserved pineapple, cement, even our alcohol beverages. So yung mga beer, gin, rum natin will definitely benefit, no, with this enhanced market access. Of course, bicycle, garments, among others. So marami po siya, pero kung yung immediate impact agad dito pag take effect yung RCEP, ang pinakamalaking bagay dyan yung tinatawag nating wider sourcing of raw materials. No? Kasi yung ating mga manufacturers, producers, immediately they can source these raw materials and intermediate goods from these 14 countries, and the product that they manufacture will enjoy preferential market access to these RCEP parties.
And may I just do a follow-up? That's also part of the benefits of MSMEs that the Secretary and our Senators have been mentioning earlier.
Yes, because as far as micro, small, and medium enterprises, there are many ways by which they can integrate into the global value chain. Number one, pwede sila mag-export directly to the country concerned kung saan yung may market. Pangalawa is that they can also supply to those big companies who are integrated into the global value chain. And then number three is that they can also partner, no, with other investors who are willing to venture in their particular business. So,
SP Pro Tem, may I be allowed to ask a question that is not related to this activity?
Yeah, of course.
As long as it will contribute to the real GDP of the Philippines,
That's one
it will
question.
generate employment.
Yes, that's one question from my end, because today, this week, actually, we're commemorating the EDSA People Power Revolution anniversary. And as far as I can recall, you started your political careers after the 1986 revolution. So as a public servant, as Filipinos, may we just ask what have you learned so far, or what have you gained so far as the EDSA People Power Revolution is concerned, and how are you going to mark this occasion, sir? Thank you.
Actually, I was 16 years old when it happened. Maybe we can ask our Senate President Pro Tempore. She was a bit older. I was in high school. So yes, we can ask Senate President Pro Tem. I think you were covering the news now.
I was a journalist in America at the time because I left during martial law, and EDSA People Power happened while I was working as a young journalist. I'm only a few years older than you. Alam mo. Yes, I was working in Los Angeles when it happened. Yes, but there are always lessons of EDSA, and first, we value our democracy. We value our free speech. We value our diversity, and still find unity in our diverse opinions and in our diversity. But first of all, we value our freedom. We value our democracy. We value what we fought for in different milestones in our history as a nation and as a people. And we appreciate that the President has declared a holiday today, but as you see, your working Senate and your working DTI is here with you working.
And media.
And the media. That's why, since you asked that question, may I ask the media, what do you think RCEP can do for you? Kayo naman ang tanongin natin.
Before that,
Maybe you can submit to us, how do you think RCEP will impact on your lives, on small businesses, and improve the state of affairs in our country in the post-pandemic recovery? Yan. I would like maybe Sally can collect one-liners or one-pagers from our media today, and maybe you can submit to us, what does EDSA mean to you? Because it means different things to different people of different generations. To me, it means giving value to our democracy and our freedom. Right? Okay, now we go to free trade.
no, ma'am. Before our submission, can we ask the thoughts of SP Zubiri on the same question? Thank you, sir.
Well, I was a 16-year-old boy in high school, and it was, of course, we were not as politically astute as we are now. Nakita po natin ang samahan ng taong bayan na pumunta sa EDSA, pa isang malaking pagsasama-sama, and all I could remember were the thoughts of my father and mother at the time. And of course, these are different milestones. There was EDSA 1, there was EDSA 2, and many other milestones as mentioned by our dear Senate President Pro Tempore. So, what is important is to remember history, so that history does not repeat itself. We just make sure that along the way we use the laws that we have done in the last 3 decades, maybe 4 decades, to further enhance growth for our people. I think what is important here is learning the lessons of the past. Whatever political color you may be, kasi I know whatever I say, you put a political spin to it. Kaya, be very careful. I promised myself today I will not speak off the cuff. And because I know, magkakaroon ng spin. Kaya ang akin dyan is, what is important is the future. Ako, I'm future thinking. Kung sa ika nga sa, ano yung committee ni SenatePh? Futures thinking. So right now, I'm futures thinking. How can we make use of all our historical knowledge that we've gone through from every decade on how to make our country a stronger nation? Yan ang malaga. And that's why we passed RCEP, because we felt that this is the key. We are pre-positioned in Asia. Diba? We have ports in every major island groups. We can send goods to all over the region. Unlike landlocked countries like Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, dehado sila. Tayo, we have ports in every, Cagayan de Oro, we can ship out to New Zealand, to Korea. And Northern Luzon can also ship out to China. Walang problema yan. Yan ang pag-usapan natin. Let's look forward thinking and futures thinking. Rather than being divisive, I don't like to talk about divisive issues. And I really feel that we should move forward, look forward, with no politics, set aside politics, get together, unite with one another, and work for the benefit of our people, especially the 16% who continue to still be in poverty. Thank you.
We have 5 more who would like to ask questions, so we'd like to request that we confine it to RCEP and one question and probably just one follow-up, please. Mr. Marlon Ramos of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Morning po. Kay SP kay Protan. Since the two of you shepherded the Senate concurrence of RCEP, if the opposite happens, SP, will you also be willing to initiate the move to withdraw from the agreement? Kung sakali.
Actually, we have a line the last two lines of the resolution, bigyan na namin sa inyo yung resolution. We have copies. Resolved furthermore that the Senate of the Philippines may recommend to the President to withdraw from the agreement. Naisama namin. And the last line, resolved further that the President of the Philippines may, with the concurrence of the Senate, withdraw from the agreement. So meron tayong, so guaranteed, if kung mukhang dehado tayo and there's an influx of goods from all over that swamp our manufacturing, swamp our garments, swamp our agriculture, then definitely a review will be in place. Will be in place and will be in order. And that we can recommend to the President if need be.
And you're willing to initiate those actions?
Yeah, well, I guess any member, yes, all of us. I mean, even it says here the President may and the Senate may. So each and every senator has the opportunity to make that review. But let's look forward. Why are we looking at the worst? Let's look at the best. Wala kita the worst. We look at the best that may come. Diba? Let's not look at the worst. But it's there. The safeguard is there. Thank you, Marlon.
Yes. First, yes, there's a provision, but even we go to as far as that provision, there are safeguard measures already in the agreement. There are trade remedies, available trade remedies. Should there be a surge, let's say, in imports or unfair trade practices in the implementation of the RCEP agreement, there are trade remedies not just in RCEP, even in the WTO agreement, such as safeguard measures, general safeguards, special safeguards, anti-dumping, countervailing duties. These are all available. WTO pa yan, no? And reiterated, whatever we entered into previous to RCEP, it's phase-in, nandyan. So, there's also a RCEP safeguard measure. It must be stressed that RCEP safeguard measures is under Article 7.2. That is an additional trade remedy available to all RCEP parties. And the fact remains that in the RCEP agreement, it should all safeguard the rights of all parties. So, kung ano yung pinasukan natin, matagal na sa WTO, nandiyan pa rin dyan, pero nagdagdag pang RCEP ng karagdagang safeguard measures. At saka, alam nyo, hindi sapat na pumasok ng RCEP, baka umasenso ang buhay ng Pilipino. Hindi po eh. Kung patuloy pa rin ang smuggling, kung mismanaged pa rin ang sektor sa agrikultura, kung kulang tayo ng suporta sa magsasaka at mangingisda, kung hindi natin lakihan ang investment sa agrikultura at sa paggamit ng pondong na mahalagang yan para sa diretsyo sa tao, kung ang DTI ay hindi rin gagawin ng husay ang shared services at saka ease of doing business and all of this, then it would not be successful. So hindi lang yan. It's not just one FTA that can change the way things are in our country, for the good or for the bad. It's a whole of government approach.
How will this new FTA affect yung proposed ASEAN integration, or is there such a thing? Miguel, the ASEAN integration.
ASEAN what?
Integration.
ASEAN integration. How will it affect ASEAN integration?
Ano po?
Secretary.
Well, we have achieved ASEAN integration through our ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement. Okay? That's why, for us to join RCEP, we are going to avail of what's there already. But what will happen with RCEP, we will be able to enhance the regional integration, expand it from the current 10 countries to include 5 more in the region. That's the impact of RCEP on regional integration. We are able to integrate a larger region, as has already been pointed out. The region accounts for close to 30% of population, close to 30% of GDP, close to 30% of trade.
If I may add, sir, with your permission.
Sige, please.
The RCEP agreement is very important in the role of ASEAN here in the region. Because when it comes to development right now in economic activities in the global scale, the shift is towards Asia. And when you talk about Asia, you cannot afford not to talk about Southeast Asia. So basically, what you are saying is that almost all economic activities are happening now here in Asia, and in particular, the RCEP region. Nabanggit kanina that RCEP region is the largest trading bloc. But more than GDP, trade, and population, I just want to highlight that the RCEP region basically accounts to 50% of the global manufacturing output. So you can just imagine kalahati ng manufacturing activities and people. Also, when it comes to automotive products, 50% are coming from the RCEP region. And with respect to electronic products, RCEP region accounts to 70%. And notably, the RCEP region is the main global value chain hubs of 3 emerging big economies, China, South Korea, and Japan. In fact, this is the first FTA na nagsama-sama itong tatlo, China, South Korea, and Japan. That's why every economy right now is expecting that production, research and development, and even manufacturing will further intensify here in the region. At yun ang gusto nating i-capture na mapasama tayo doon sa pag-increase ng mga investment.
Kain na tayo. Meron pa ba?
Kain na.
Kain na tayo.
We have Mr. Raymond Dadpas of DCRH, please.
After this, kain na tayo guys, ha? IF ako eh, intermittent fasting. Last time I ate was 7 p.m. kaya medyo gutom na.
Naglalauna naman. Anyway, sir, nito, it's good na banggit nyo naman tungkol doon sa yung protection ng agriculture products, protected pa rin ng tariff. Pero, paano natin, ano ang naging commitment dito? Kasi nabanggit din ni Senator Loren, na yung agriculture sector kasi is one of the talagang neglected sector. Paano ito sila yung nangangamba ngayon with the approval of the RCEP? Binanggit nyo rin, may problema pa rin tayo sa smuggling. So, paano ito i-reconcile doon sa sapat ba yung sinasabi nyo na tariff protected sila? Then, papabor na sa kanila itong RCEP na ito.
Well, kaya kailangan natin gumalaw bilang gobyerno, yung ating executive. Dinagdagan namin ang pondo ng DA this year, bigger than last year's budget. And because of that, we put money on the high value crops program, yung livestock program. Ito, pabanggitin ko, National High Value Crops Program, 1.8 billion yung nilagay natin. Yung National Livestock Program para sa swine, poultry, and beef, 4.5 billion. Promotion of Development of Organic Agriculture Program, 900 billion. Yung National Corn Program, 5 billion. Yung National Rice Program, ito pinakamalaki, 30 billion sa National Rice Program.
Muna ko sign ng DRD.
Yeah, so, ang laki. Kaya, nasa Department of Agriculture na yan. Maybe you can ask your may beat naman kayo sa Department of Agriculture, di ba? So, tanungin natin sila, anong gagawin nila mga hambang para mapaganda ang agrikultura sa ating bansa. I think the ball is now in their court. Let's put it this way. Right now, pasok tayo RCEP, walang gagawin sa kanilang taripa. So in other words, status quo sila, excluded sila. So walang papasok na napakaraming mga produktong mais, rice, and other products dito sa Pilipinas. Walang flooding, ika nga. Kaya dapat magbantay ang ating Bureau of Customs. Kaya bantayan yan. But ang importante dyan is palakasin na natin sila, ang industriya. We cannot be business as usual sa agriculture sector. Ibig po sabihin, kung yung rice farmer ay nagpo-produce lamang po ng 40 kabans per hectare, ay talagang hindi tayo magiging competitive. Kailangan pumasok talaga yung DA dyan at sabihin, bakit gano'n kababa yung per hectare mo? Gumamit na ba kayo ng certified seeds? Gumamit na ba kayong tamang abono? Meron ba kayong mga, mga mekanismo para modernize na, hindi na yung kalabaw. Meron tayong rotavator, meron tayong rice planter, hindi na po kalabaw ang gagamitin. Para tumaas po ang ani nila ng 80 kabans per hectare. Para sa ganun, may kumita naman po sila, which is the average in the whole region. So, they have to step in. They have to help our farmers. Kaya bumuo tayo ng oversight committee para kukulitin namin every quarter ito mga ito. Ano nangyari sa pondo? Baka maging savings na yun. O baka mapunta sa iba. Kaya, rest assured, to our friends in media, babantayan talaga natin sila. Not only agriculture, but also the DTI and all the other departments that are tasked to increase our exports and to strengthen our local economy.
Salamat po.
I just want
May
to-
question pa kami, pero okay na.
Could I just say something about this? I have pointed out, time and again, that with or without RCEP, those measures that we are going to undertake to help agricultural sector will have to be done. For example, curbing the smuggling of
The enrolled
agricultural
bill of
products.
the-
We didn't do that, with or without RCEP. Helping the farmers achieve high productivity. We need to do that without RCEP. I myself have had meetings with agricultural groups, and we're all agreed. They understand fully that RCEP will not directly affect agriculture as it is now because of the things we've done. We have not compromised the tariff protection of several agricultural products we produce. But they would like us that the RCEP discussion to be the opportunity for them to be heard about their plea from the plea with the government to take measures to take care of agricultural smuggling and also address the productivity programs in our farms. So yun what is clear. Kaya at the end of the day, separate yung ang makikinabang sa RCEP, at least 90% of the Philippine economy, yung mga nasa industry, MSMEs. So, mahirap naman, because of the things we still have to do for agriculture, hindi naman talaga maapektuhan ng RCEP, mati-delay yung Yan palagi ko naman i-explain. Wala namang reason na kailangan i-delay yung ratification ng RCEP o not to ratify RCEP at all. Kailangan natin yan for the bigger part of our economy. And also for agriculture, because we have given examples of agricultural products that will gain market access in Japan, Korea, and China because of RCEP.
Okay, Ma'am Ann, maybe to speed up the process, I have with me the enrolled copy. Ito yung sasabit namin sa Malacanang. Enrolled copy, I'll be signing it officially now. This is the process to finish our ratification process in the Senate.
Very good.
This is the last stage. Ito, dadali na po natin ito sa Malacanang. So I'll sign it officially today with the witnesses, Secretary Pascual, Senator Loren, Legarda, Senate President Pro Tem, and Sir Allan Gepty, who was negotiating this for so many years. So now,
He's the happiest, no?
he's the happiest. Pirmahan ko muna. As Senate President. May camera kasi.
So now the Senate President is signing the enrolled copy of Senate Resolution No.42 of the resolution concurring in the ratification of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. After the signing, the Senate will transmit to the Executive Department and will be part of the instrument of ratification, which will be sent to the ASEAN Secretary. So a round of applause for
Very
this.
good.
I'll give each and every one of you a copy para you can hold up. Let me just sign it. Almost there. O yun, bigyan natin isa si... Ha? May isa pa. Souvenir. Copy.
Bigyan niyo ng food ng intermittent fasting. Kawawa naman.
Yeah, later. I'll join it. Thank you.
16 hours.
So with this, we conclude this press briefing on behalf of the Department of Trade and Industry and the Senate. We once again can thank all our speakers.
O, sa cameraman naman. O, mga video. Labas na kayo dyan. O, labas muna kayo dyan. Okay.
Secretary Alfredo Pascual, Assistant Secretary Allan.
O, guys, labas. Pang, okay, dito naman. Okay.
We hope that this engagement has contributed to knowledge building and familiarization of the RCEP agreement.
Mabuhay! Thank you! Kain na tayo! I will give you a copy. I think this goes to Malaki.